I'll tell you another thing, sports fans, while I have your attention. This whole transferring of prisoners at Guantanamo Bay to the mainland of the United States, there's no good that can come out of this. There's no good. These people are going to be mixed with the American prison population, possibly in Illinois or Michigan, where there is especially in Michigan, where there's a large Muslim population, and where organizations like Al-Qaeda recruit in this country. They find many Al-Qaeda sympathizers and in the prison system. And you have these guys out in the prison system, they're going to be, converting and strengthening, or if the inmates are already Muslim converts or are born Muslims or are even Arabs, they will strengthen and fortify each other spiritually, for lack of a better term, and will become more inspired by their God to plan and commit atrocities against Americans once they are outside the prison walls, or possibly even committing attacks inside the prison system and handling what goes on the outside in much the same way as mafia figures can run their organizations from inside a prison. They can say what goes on outside the prison. Possibly even there could be masses assembled outside of prison which would overtake the prison and free certain key figures, possibly destroy the whole prison and free all the people inside it. There's another plan by this administration to use prison labor for community service in organizations like ACORN, which is ACORN's magically disappearing, and it is going to resurface as a different organization, kind of like the contractor who put a new roof on your house and it was not to your satisfaction, and so you were seeking to sue him in court, and then all of a sudden he changed the name of his corporation and he was no longer operating as Number 12 and a half Roofing Company, and then now he's changed his name to Super Shitty Roofing Company Incorporated. He's changed the name of his corporation in order to avoid your prosecution. This is what ACORN will do, is doing, has done in the past, does all the time. Conglomerate of all kinds of other smaller charitable organizations which all, get money from the government and donate them to each other. Did I say charitable organizations? They're community activist organizations. They masquerade as charities a lot of the time. They masquerade as do-gooders. And they probably have some do-gooders within their ranks. And those are people who are being manipulated by the ones masquerading as do-gooders in their ranks. So anyway, the names of these organizations change as soon as they get in a little trouble, and that's what's happening to ACORN. ACORN is going to drop that name, and they're going to come back as something else. These organizations will work hand in hand with prison, recruiting prisoners for community activism, okay? And you will couple this with the Stormtroopers of the Future, which is the Service Employees International Union, which is made up of everything from nurses to security guards. So they will mold into a paramilitary organization that functions together with the former ACORN, which Seiu and ACORN are. SEIU, the Service Employees International Union, is, for all intents and purposes, ACORN, and ACORN is, for all intents and purposes, Seiu. They work in that close a partnership. They are two different battalions in the same army, and they will recruit the prisoners, the prison guards, and the nurses, and the other service employees will all become an organization that will become very powerful, and they're going to start throwing their weight around here in the next coming weeks, months, and years, whether or not they get their health care. If they don't get it right from the outset, they're not going away with the health care plan. If it gets voted down, it will keep on coming back as something else, and the Seiu protests and influence will get bigger and bigger until they get what they want. And then they'll be the government. In fact, it will probably be very difficult to get a job unless you join in Seiu. In much the same fashion as in the Soviet Union and the former communist states of the Warsaw Pact, it was very difficult to get a job that provided you an adequate salary to, live as a good communist, unless you were a Communist Party member. And you have to remember that the goals and aims of the Soviet Bolsheviks was to dominate the world by uniting the workers. That's how communism sprouts and spreads and takes over, by the workers uniting. That's why labor unions are potentially all communist organizations, because they don't seek to make a profit for a private free market company. They seek to have the workers overpower whatever company they're working for and take it over and take it away from the ones who own it and have invested in it. And they use government power by using the representatives like Barack Obama, who has established close ties, worked with SEIU for a long time, and the leader of SEIU, a guy named Andy Stern, is the single most visited White House visitor since Barack Obama moved in at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. No one has visited the president more than has Andy Stern, the leader of SEIU. When Barack Obama takes a shit, he asks SEIU chief Andy Stern first before he even shits, okay? If it's okay with Andy. Does Andy mind if Obama takes a shit? That's how much power Andy Stern and SEIU have in this administration. They just made a movie called Labor Day. I haven't seen it yet. I'm looking to see it somewhere, where they explain all this to you. So it's no secret what I'm saying. Okay? So, I'm not coming to you from the angle of some crackpot. This is all known by whoever seeks the truth. Jesus said, "Seek and ye shall find." So go out there and seek, and ye shall find. And ye shall come to the conclusion that I know of what I speak. Later.